did you get? Kikko asked Dot while she was reading her book. Jane Rye, Dot answered, and then looked at Saki. What did you get, Socks? Pride and Prejudice, Saki answered, and turned over to Kikko. What are you reading, Kikko? Alice in Wonderland, answered Kikko lastly. Didn't WB made this in its sequel back in 1983? She asked Dot. Yeah, and unlike that animated flop that Disney made in 1953, ours came closer to the books, Dot explained. Despite the fact that the Jabberwocky costume looks like something out of a Godzilla movie. And then the girls went over to the other side where the boys are to see if they found their books. Yakko and Wacko were looking at the adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, while Quirky was not even reading anything, just playing a stupid computer game from the website. Oh, this keeps getting better, Yakko said while looking at the pages. I wonder if it's be greater in the next page. It'll be even greater on the next page. Yeah, Wacko said. Sorry about that. The girl now started to look suspicious at the two Warner Brothers' interest in the book, so they got up closer and finding the shocking truth. I knew it! Dot said, and an angry mother look on her face. You aren't reading the books, Saki added when she and Kikko discovered that they were magazines the Warner Bros. Put inside the books to make everyone believe they're reading the books. You're looking at swimsuit mini magazines and using the books to disguise them, Kikko finished. Yakko and Wacko smiled and laughed nervously. It was my idea, Quirky said to the girls, and they glared at him. It was the only way I can interest in them. Boys! Dot shook her head with disappointment. And then at the same moment, Scratch and Sniff came in to check on them. The Warners put away a few things and started to sit at the same table with their books up to act innocent when Scratchy comes here. Scratchy walked up in front of them and turned to see that they are reading and what they are supposed to read. Oh, I see that you are doing what I want you to do. Scratchy said, looking all satisfied. And not a single one of you goofing or whatever nonsense thing you always do behind my back. I'm actually starting to believe you are improving after all these years, that you are driving me insane, pulling out all my hair and that I used to have and popping out of nowhere to frighten me. Yakko then whispers to Kikko, Better prepare yourself, 'cause he'll be starting to tell stories of his old country in a few minutes. At the exact moment, Scratch and Sniff is getting to tell stories of his country to the Warners, so the Warners started to read their books in order to avoid hearing Scratchy's stories. 2 hours later, the Warners all fell asleep except for Kikko, who was still reading her book, only with drowsiness in her eyes. Just before she could finish the ending, she eventually fell asleep while Scratchy was still talking. And 5 minutes later, Kikko woke up to find everyone in the libraries all gone. Ah, rats! I must have overslept and everyone went home without me, Kikko said as she was getting up out of her chair. Then she looked at the clock and found out that it was still 3 o'clock and the library doesn't close till 8. Oh no! A voice shouted from somewhere in the building. I'm late! I better hurry up! Kiko looked all over to find out who said that, but then at that moment she spotted a familiar face that she knows, a certain gray Toon Rabbit from Warner Brother, WB. Sorry. Bugs Bunny? Kiko wondered as she looked at what he was wearing, clothes that looked like something Kiko had seen somewhere before. She turned the pages in the book to find a picture that had the clothes that Bugs was wearing, and discovered they are the same clothes the White Rabbit was wearing in Alice in Wonderland. Well, waistcoat, pocket watch, and all. Why is Bugs wearing the White Rabbit's clothes? Kiko thought to herself. And what is he late for? And doesn't he realize the Warner Brothers studio is outside on the far west from the library? Kiko started to chase after Bugs to talk to him, even though he's way ahead of her. Bugs! Bugs! You're going the wrong way! Kiko shouted out. WB Studios is on the other side! But Bugs couldn't hear her and just kept on running away. Kiko followed Bugs to the outside of the library, throughout the back doors, and into the Hollywood woods. And Bugs ran faster and faster until he entered a giant rabbit tunnel just near a tree stump on the hill. Kiko stopped where the tunnel is and looked at how dark it looks in there. He must be in a big hurry to go on vacation or something, she thought as she began to enter the tunnel and started to crawl down deeper into it. But Kiko went down in it too deep. She accidentally fell into a large, down a large at the bottom at a fast pace. Wait a minute. Fell down a large at a fast pace? That doesn't make any sense. Huh? Well, it's one spelling error so far, but not complaining or anything. I'll just move on. Wile E. Coyote never had these problems when he falls down off cliffs, Kiko said as she was falling down further in the hole. The rabbit hole wasn't empty like any rabbit hole. It was filled with floating furniture, clocks, funhouse mirrors, and Go-Go Dodo? Passing by Kiko as she goes down and even farther, the bottom of the hole was drawing closer as Kiko fell down rapidly. She threw the nearest pillow, which was on a floating bed, onto the floor and landed safely on it. If this is what happens with Daffy when going on vacation with Bugs, I'm never going with him down a rabbit's way, she said while getting up and wiping the dirt off of her skirt. And then Kiko spotted a large mirror that showed a reflection of running in a room and entering a door. She rushed to get to the room, but it wasn't on the other side of where the mirror is. Well, that was pointless, said Kiko. A mirror that reflects a mirror that... Sorry, guys. A mirror that reflects a room, but there isn't a room on the other end. Kiko walked closer to the mirror to find out how did it reflect a room. But when she placed her hand onto the glass, her hand just sank into it like water. She pulled out, looking all freaked out about it. Then she decided to walk through the mirror, and she managed to go to the other side without breaking anything or stopping. Wow, we just went from a Alice in Wonderland thing to looking through the looking glass reference. Clever. Give her that. It turns out the mirror was a clear doorway to the room, and inside the room there were 10 doors that lead to somewhere different. Kiko looked all around and she stopped when she looked back at the fake mirror. She wasn't wearing the same clothes she had on, but was wearing an outfit that looked similar to Alice's. Huh. Well, that would explain the poster. Okay, this is some kind of wacky act going on here, Kiko said while she was looking away from the mirror and then found the door where Bugs entered into. Kiko opened the door to find out that there was another one. And she opened it and found another, opened it, there was another. Ugh. Man, it's one of those weird tricks where there's always so many doors around here, and probably the doors that under another door, and probably gonna have the last one locked or something. I was right. After opening so many doors, the final one was. Oh, that's different. Maybe a little not as different as I thought. The final door's about small enough for a mouse to enter, but when she tried to open it, it was all locked up. Man, I'm good at predicting these things, am I? But what... Then again, I must have read this before, haven't I? The room to where the little leads to, yeah, forgot to say the little door, but what the heck, we're just moving on. Wasn't a small room, but a large garden and forest scenery that looked like something out of a fairy tale. Wow! Kiko gasped with amazement. So this is where Bugs is going to. She stepped back away and locked the door back. If only I had could be small enough to that place as well. Maybe you should have said go to that place as well. Man, sorry for all the criticisms, but this is. She wished, and then a bottle appeared onto the table like magic. I didn't ask for a drink, said Kiko. What kind of drink is it? Kiko looked at the bottle, and it had the words, drink me, and was filled with liquid in it. Well, that's stupid, Kiko said, looking at the bottle all the way around. There's no labels on it to tell you what flavor it is, or how many calories are in it, or if it's expired. But I'll take one sip just to find out what it is anyway. Kiko just pulled the top off the bottle, drank it in one drop, just one drop of liquid, and placed it back on the table. Suddenly, Kiko began to have the weird feeling in her stomach, and she started to grow smaller than her normal height. Became smaller and smaller until she's only 4 inches small. Must be a diet drink, Kiko said sarcastically about her size. But at least I'm small enough to go through the door. Before she could go to the door, she suddenly realized something and slapped her forehead. The door is locked and the key is up on the table, really high up from where Kiko is. And Kiko, talking to the audience, breaking the fourth wall. Don't you hate it when you have a dumb blonde moment?